Hello, everyone. William here again, your host for Is Your Boss an Idiot? So this is our second podcast we're putting out there. Hopefully if you download and listen to the first one, you kind of get a little background on what we're trying to do here. Just a little refresher. We're just going to talk about all the idiotic things that our bosses do and just makes absolutely no sense. But in their mind, they think they're brilliant. So kind of just also touch base on regards to my last podcast and talking about the place I used to work at and the idiot that I was working for. So I just kind of want to drop another story about this guy before we go into. I got about a top 10 list here of stories that we're going to put out there, and these are kind of funny. But let's talk about my little incident, another one I've had. So, COVID hit, everything was strumming along, then COVID hit, and, everything hit the fan, so to speak, and business went in the toilet, weren't getting sales, what have you. I mean, staying above water just barely, but, progressing very, very slowly. But we had one section of business that, we'd get rather large orders from, 3-4 times a year because of the way the business fluctuated and the way it was is, certain times a year, this is when this business would, require new material. So, but that went in the shit can, because of COVID. So, it'd been 7-8 months, no activity and anything from that market segment, and doing what we can. Just there was no business. There was no work, so there was nothing to sell them. Well, finally things started picking back up after about 8 months, and we got a quote, for a project, and lo and behold, hey, we got it. This is a nice dollar amount, almost 50 grand. And so, everyone was really happy because, hey, we finally got another, big order. Maybe this is, things are turning around, what have you. So the person that was handling that account, was very happy. So they sent an email back, thanking everything like that, and made some comment and they, of joy and happiness and using the exclamation point. Now, you would think the boss would be, oh, great, all right, nice, hey, we got something, go back. His only response was, don't use an exclamation point like that. It sends the wrong message. That was his only response. I mean, un-effing believable. I mean, it's just demoralizing. I mean, for about 5 minutes, the whole office, everyone was good mood, happy, upbeat, the whole 9 yards. Great. All of a sudden, this tool, pops this little comment in there. Don't use exclamation points. They send the wrong message. That was it. No good job, no none. I mean, that tells you the scope of what kind of idiot this person was. So anyways, onward. Let's talk to this top 10 list here that we got kind of pulled up that I came across and cultivated. We got the first one here. It says this person, they were working as a secretary for some large hospital, and she had a son that was over at the local daycare, was at a church. Well, one day, one of her coworkers comes running to the office screaming, hey, the church is on fire, church is on fire, where her kid was at. So she immediately ran over to the church seats where you could see the smoke fire, the whole 9 yards, all the fire engines, the whole thing going on. People were in a panic. She lost her shoes. She said she tore her dress and that, and she dropped her purse looking for her son. Well, she finally found him, thank God. So, bit frails and whatnot. She gets things settled. She returns back to work. She gets back to her desk. The boss has the gall to say, you left your station without permission. You're going to be disciplined for this. Can you believe this shit? I mean, come on. We got another one here. Said this person has a certain key program. It's part of what they call their strategic vision. All other projects are considered non-strategic and get no funds for capital equipment, research, or marketing. So after my non-strategic department sales beat the rest of the company for 3 straight years, they renamed my department strategic systems. I mean, just rename it and still getting no credit. I mean, that's just typical. These companies, all they care about is the bottom line profit. They don't give a shit about morale. They don't give a shit about employees. This is why you get such high turnover at these companies, because these people just don't care. And it goes all the way up to the top. It's all driven by the mighty dollar. You can't have, successful and happy people if you're just going to keep knocking them down. They're going to leave and go somewhere else. Maybe that should look at your turnover rate. Look at what's going on. I think that should tell you what the hell you're doing is wrong. But no, you can bang your head against the wall trying to tell them, and they just don't get it. So we got next one here. This person, they worked at the college They had worked at the library of a major college. The director instituted a computerized card catalog and checkout system, which required all 100,000 of the books of them to be barcoded. So she wanted this done quickly, and she wanted to get this turned over. So she informed everyone, hey, we're going to be working a full day Saturday. So everyone showed up, all happy. Hey, let's go. Worked to 9 hours and went home. Hey, good job. Monday, they learned to be no overtime pay for Saturday. And when they approached the director and she said, oh, Saturday, that was volunteer work. So they're not even getting paid. Total scam. Can you believe that shit? I mean, it's just baffling. This is kind of one that kind of hits close to home for me and what I used to do. But, this person, they were working, work hard on a deal. Some of these deals, when you're talking big dollars, this was about $7 million. It takes time to put these things together. They bought the equipment and everything. And honestly, in the sales thing, people buy because of the person they're buying from. A lot of times, yeah, they look at cost, whatnot, but they like the majority when you spend that kind of money is you want to be comfortable when you're spending that kind of money, who you're dealing with. So the relationship plays a huge, huge role. But anyways, about 6 months later, that customer doubled the order. Hey, great, you know what? And the salesperson think, great, hey, more commission. Hey, this is going to be awesome. Well, his boss's thing, they already closed the deal. They limited his commission to a fraction of what it should have been because they just didn't calculate it together. They just figured that one was closed. This is a completely different new one. Well, guess what? As typical, and this smart person did, they went, found a new job, quit, and hey, guess what? A week later, that customer moved over to the new company because they followed that salesperson, because they wanted to deal with that person. Not so much the company, it's that person. And this is what I don't get with these, people that own these companies and these larger, it's about relationships. It's old school. They want to deal with that person because, hey, they like them. They feel comfortable with them. They feel comfortable spending their money with them. It goes a long, long way, but these people in these businesses just don't see it. It just baffles me to no end. So this is a funny one. So this person, they got a promotion, and with that promotion, got some new benefits, which, me personally, I don't think really all that great for getting a promotion, but got a chair with arms and a bigger cubicle. Well, this person said, what's the big deal? I could care less about, having some larger space, and it was very minimal amount. So it was basically like 4 more inches to increase their space. This person was fine with that. They didn't care. So, but you know what? The boss wouldn't let it die. So he got maintenance. It took a whole day to add an 18-inch panel to the cubicle to give him that 4 inches more space. So when everything was all done, the boss stopped by with a big shit-eating grin on his face like he was, Captain Superman or whatever. Said, now this is more benefiting of your new status. Come on. I mean, talk about just thinking, oh, he thinks he did a good thing, for us, and when it was just absolutely pitiful. It's baffling. I mean, again, and this is so common, day in, day out. I know, all of you guys out there are going to be listening to this, I know you guys deal with it. So listen, shoot me an email. isyourbossanidiot@gmail.com. We'll get a website up here soon. I got the web domain, everything get going here. So I'm getting something set up so then we could, work on that email address. But again, shoot me your stories. Let's talk about them. You know what? Hey, send me on over. Maybe we'll get you on the podcast too. We can talk about it and have some laughs because in the end, this is just kind of for humor. This is for funny, just laughing, just like stuff you shake your head at and just like, how do these people get to that point in their life? And you got to wonder too, is, are these people at home just absolutely miserable? I mean, because they come into work and it's like they take it out on you. Maybe they're not getting enough at home, or maybe their wife's cheating on them or something like that. God only knows, but they feel they got to come in swinging, their big ego around saying, look, I'm the one in control. I'm the one in power. You need to listen to me, and this place would fall apart without me. I mean, it's just sad. So let's talk about this next one. So this person was working part-time in a lumber yard, which had a lot of theft going on. So the manager came and had an aha moment and just said it must be employees that are doing all the thievery. So they did polygraph tests for everyone just to see what was going on, and this person flatly refused to take the test. And since this person was a leading salesperson, was threatened but not fired. A week later, during a routine late-night drive-by, the police caught the thief loading a truck with material from the yard. It was vice president VP who actually had ordered all the lie detector tests. So there you go. It was actually one of the big people up top that was actually stealing all the wood. Can you believe that shit? They tried, and talk about trying to cover their ass. Let's just try and push it off on someone else. Oh my God, the balls. So we got next one. So this person they were working at a summer camp during college. Now they'd worked at this camp for 5 summers right in a row. They had good times there, obviously. But this particular summer, their best friend unexpectedly died from heart failure. Ooh, that sucks. And took a leave to go to the funeral. Hey, come on, his best friend. Why wouldn't you go? But when this person returned, his grandfather was on their deathbed, and he had to request more time off. Hey, he's a grandfather. What do you expect? So, obviously this person was separated, so approached my boss, explained the situation. Well, this person just said, well, you're just going to have to get over it and get on with life. I can't let you go again. Their grandfather died the next week. When I told my boss, she said, you should have planned better. You have no bereavement time left. Cold-hearted. I mean, come on. This is just, that just kills me because it's just, family comes first in anything in life. Your wife, your kids, your parents, everything. Family comes first, and hopefully some of you guys out there are working for a company that recognizes that, and stuff's going to happen. And not make someone use vacation time to go and have to take care of something personal. Not have to take time off or use some of their time just because they got to leave 3 hours or 2 hours early because they got to take their kid to the dentist appointment. This is stuff's life. If the person's doing their job and getting their stuff done, big deal. Let them go. Don't make them take off this time and have it go count against them. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The place I was at before, just a little side note, when the COVID vaccines were coming out and everything like that, and this person that was the owner and the boss, very high, get your vaccine, get vaccinated. We want everyone to get vaccinated. I mean, I can't force you to, but get vaccinated. So everyone's like, okay, get vaccinated. Well, one of the people working up front, one of the secretaries, she was trying to schedule it, but she had to wait 4 weeks because she was only going to be able to schedule it on a Saturday because guess what? If she wanted to schedule it during the week to get it done, which she could have got it done within like a couple days, they were going to dock her vacation time. I mean, un-effing believable. I mean, just idiocy. It just demoralizes you, makes you like, why am I working for this type of company? And I have my epiphany and got the hell out because I just couldn't take it anymore. As as get more of these podcasts done, you're going to hear a lot more stories about this idiot that I worked for, and how I lasted that long is beyond me because this person was just such a fucking moron. Pardon my French. So let's go to the next one here. It says, okay, recently the plant where I worked was faced with a union drive. So in order to determine who was at fault, the president arranged private meetings so they could, air their issues, with no supervisor or managerial personnel were allowed to ensure that all comments would remain confidential. So during the meetings, I happened to visit the HR manager's office and surprised him by just walking in. And after he was seated, he indicated I should be quiet when he would readjust the intercom. They were listening in on these private meetings. And the president had the room bugged, and they were recording it. And the HR manager was firstly taking notes so the president could get even with the workers. So he's trying to find out who was after him, who was against him, the whole 9 yards. After clearly stating that this wasn't going to be, this is private, this is between, hey, you and me and whatnot. What an asshole. I mean, that's just unbelievable stuff. I mean, and it's just that this goes on every day in, day out. Just paranoia, whatnot, have you. I mean, you hire someone, you trust them to do their job, and if someone's going against you, start to unionize, whatever it may be, or something's going on, that means that these people think they're not being treated right. Talk to them about that. Maybe change your attitude. Maybe change your way you work and dealing with your employees. Pay them more money. Give them a living wage. Jeez Louise. So we got the next one here. It says, this person worked at a publishing company. Management regularly stressed the policy of promoting within. So when, middle management opening occurred, the divisional vice president told the boss about the opening. And he said, even though there's an opening, don't post it in your apartment. Someone unqualified might apply. So I obviously that's telling you that they believe everyone that was working there was unqualified for anything, and they just couldn't even move up, which is just sad. I mean, that tells you that they have no belief in anybody, and so who knows? Probably nepotism going on. They want to probably hire their kid or some relative or something like that probably has no clue and got some art degree, and they wanted to hire him for an accounting position. God only knows. But here we go. Let's go with this last one here. It said last week, the boss discovered a motivational quote. This one's funny when I got this. It says, only in the dictionary does success come before work. Obviously, S before W. So this Yahoo, she orders a large banner and hangs it up, but he improved it the quote, because it thought it'd be better, says, only the dictionary does success come before hard work. Well, if you obviously look at that, H becomes before S. So that's a little bit contradictory, isn't it? So I just, idiotic things is like, if this person couldn't see that, God help that company. So here we got a couple more we'll do here. Then we'll sign off for another day. But so in a group review meeting, this boss turned to one of his direct reports and said, "I'm told strong management will, admit to mistakes." So he looks at this person and says, "So tell me, how did you manage to lose so much money?" So obviously, that person, the manager who's asking the question, the boss, wasn't taking responsibility. So he wanted to pawn it off, as usual, because it's always everyone else's fault, not their own. So we got one last one here. It says, vendors rep held a meeting with executive staff at their company. It was a frustrating afternoon. Only opinions were expressed were those of the owner of the company. No one else was talking, just the owners, blah, blah, blah. So, exasperated rep, came out and says, "Hey, look, are you guys just a bunch of yes men?" To which the boss replied, "Well, of course not. If the owner wants us to say no, we're no men." So obviously, everyone just did what the boss told them to, and didn't matter what these people think. The ones actually doing the majority of the work, that are in the pitch doing it, and trying to understand it, God forbid, they know what's going on, right? Oh my Lord. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this one up, just kind of keep these kind of short and sweet. Maybe I'll get some, longer ones going here down the road, but, try and get more content, get some more lists. But like I said, anyone out there listening, I know you guys have some stories or whatnot, or find some funny ones. Send them along. isyourbossanidiot@gmail.com. Send them over. We'll get them on the podcast and talk about them. And also, if you got something you want to talk about, let me know. We'll get you on the podcast and we can talk about it and have some laughs and just just shake our heads in disbelief at what happens and what goes on in upper management and ownership. So again, hey, this is William, your host. I appreciate you guys listening. Take care. Have a great one. Till next time.